As I went back, or as I discussed earlier about being that Cascadia region known for three key areas, blockchain, VR, AR, and quantum, launch companies kind of jumped on that and helped to put in infrastructure and facilities to expedite learning and growth and surrounding entrepreneurs with the best of the best. So we created a whole VR AR hub. We have over 200 mentors, all different VCs and industry experts in the VR AR space that are accessible to our companies. Also create a blockchain program to help entrepreneurs understand what is blockchain, how does blockchain actually fit into the processes and operations of their business. Is it actually a viable technology to be installed in your business, or is it just vanity and doesn't necessarily have a place? We help our entrepreneurs navigate through that, then ultimately connect to resources that can help expedite the growth of the business in that sector. But most importantly, what we're really known for in the last 2 years has been what we're positioning as our Maple program to help international companies take the step of moving their business into the North American market. Again, let's not beat around the bush. The US is getting harder and harder for international entrepreneurs, especially if you're from Indian descent or Chinese descent. The wait times to get permanent residency, the wait time to actually navigate through the immigration process is getting harder and harder and longer and longer. And from an entrepreneur's perspective, having to build a business, even if you do get work visas into the US, that constant fear in the back of your head of, am I going to be let back in the country if I go to visit my family, or do I have to consistently renew? Are policies going to change? What happens at the border? I heard this horror story of this person that actually had a valid visa and they got denied at the border. These things are unnecessary stress points, unnecessary challenges that the entrepreneur does not need in the focus of building their business. And so when you look at Canadian programs, you kind of eliminate that fear and give the entrepreneurs the ability to just focus on building their business and not have to worry about their own visas, but also the visas of their spouses and their children and the whole status around their personal lives on top of their business lives. And so Launch Academy is designated by the Canadian government to issue support for entrepreneurs in a variety of programs. The most powerful is the Startup Visa Program. So the Startup Visa Program is probably something that you've heard in multiple countries, but Canada has by far one of the best ones in the world. It's up to 5 founders, plus their spouses, plus their children can all get access to work visas and student visas, and then within 12 months get access to permanent residency. Now, permanent residency is the equivalent of a green card in the US. So when you think about the wait times, especially as Indians, for a green card, that's 8 to 10 years. In Canada, you can get a PR in less than 12 months. And once you have your PR, within a 5-year time period, you can actually get your citizenship. It can actually be as quickly as 3 years. So the power of removing those uncertainties and challenges in a company using proper immigration paths has a huge exponential benefit to Canada in the sense that these entrepreneurs are building great companies and they're actually move a lot faster than they would in the US, because not only do they have the security, but as a PR in Canada, your movement into the US is far more easier than as an Indian with an international passport because of the NAFTA free trade agreements between Canada and the US. So there's all these different intricacies around it. But there's also other programs such as Express Entry. If you qualify on an individual basis, that can be PR within 6 months. There is a provincial nomination, so if you hit certain thresholds and the province wants to nominate you, again, 6 months. But there's also programs called Global Skills where you have large corporations and the founder's mindset is not, hey, I'm happy being Indian or happy being Australian, I don't want to move to Canada. But with using a Global Skills program, what you can do is set up a Canadian company, use intercompany transfers to move employees over to help set up operations, but also bring in international talent on closed 2-year work visas that are issued within a 2-week time frame. So again, the mindset of the Canadian immigration policies and business environment is that we do not want to put in barriers to help Canadian companies or these new international companies do business in Canada, do business globally. And so let's help them as quickly as we can and push them through the immigration process so they can focus on what they do best, which is build great businesses. So Global Skills is probably a primary reason why you saw all those 100 Bay Area companies setting up operations in Canada. It's because they know they can access international talent, bring it into Canada, set up their companies, set up their operations, and really expedite the growth of their business faster than they could have just doing it in the US. Now, in our Maple program, Launch Academy itself has helped over 35 companies from, I think, over 18 different countries. Half of them have already landed in Canada, received their permanent residencies, and we're continuing to do that on a bi-monthly basis and just bringing in more and more companies, more entrepreneurs. And so just take from me, this is Sergey. Sergey is a really interesting use case here. He's an international nomad. He traveled around the world. He built multiple businesses. His latest one's a cybersecurity business focusing on digital right management for universities. He's got some of the major universities in the US as clients. He was in the US, but he didn't want to raise his family in the US. And he looked at programs around the world and he said, hey, Canada is actually by far one of the best ones, and he's now received permanent residency and his family is well established in Canada. But he's an interesting case because he's an individual, he's a lifestyle-based business, would not be venture backable, so even if he did get venture backing and move down the path of securing O1 visas and whatnot, he didn't want to go down that path. He wanted to be on his own, being independent, and Vancouver and Launch Canada in particular, who did not take equity in his company, were the paths that he preferred. And on the other extreme, like I mentioned, Bloomberg. Bloomberg is a cybersecurity company, very, very successful. Can't go into details, but they are behind a lot of major governments and infrastructure. They wanted to expand and grow their North American presence, and doing so from Canada was the path to go. And because we didn't take equity, it made sense for them because their valuation was so high. And working with anybody else didn't make any sense because equity is probably the most valuable thing in your company as an entrepreneur. Giving it up at that valuation just didn't make sense. And so in our program, not only do we help with the immigration, but again, like I said, of Launch Academy's positioning in the ecosystem and the connections that we have in Silicon Valley, we're really positioned to help build a foundation around the entrepreneurs that we help and build a path for them to grow their business. So a lot of mentorship, guidance, access to VCs and other stakeholders that can help them exponentially grow their business. There's a lot of also intangibles. Like one example is we had a founder, their family, they had a daughter who had severe allergies. Coming through our program, we actually provided feedback and instructions on how they can actually find baby formula and other products that are hypoallergenic that help her with her allergies. And so those intangibles, you don't think about as issues that you need when you're building your business and moving, but there are different aspects to expanding into new markets that you do need to start considering. That's where we try to provide support. And outside of that, again, because of Launch Academy's positioning, we have access to different perks, benefits, over $300,000 worth of credits and other things that can help you set up and establish your business in a new market. And that's really where we try to position Launch Academy apart from our competitors and other accelerators and incubators across the country, is that we are for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs. I'm building companies on a day-to-day basis. My founders are building companies on a day-to-day basis. So everything that we use for our own businesses, we bring to the table for the companies that we work with. And Traction Conference is a big part of that. Access to these CEOs of billion-dollar companies. As we saw today here at India Joy the last few days, you got some cool speakers coming in. Big difference with Traction is that these Bay Area companies are flying in, these CEOs are flying into Vancouver, and they're there for 2 days. And so their accessibility is a lot different than most conferences. And we do a lot of private events, CEO events, lunches, dinners, boat cruises, different things that allow our CEOs to get connected with these people, and opportunities are abundant because they're there for the full 2 days. So, I don't know what happened here. So why Canada? Unlike other countries, one of the big things with our startup visa program is that the startup visa, the permanent residency, is not tied to the success of your business. So the startup visa program out of the UK, and I think there's one out of Chile, if your company shuts down, your PR will be canceled. If your company actually falls below a certain threshold of income level, it will be canceled. In Canada, if your company shuts down, if say there's 3 founders and one of them quits to go work at Boeing, that PR will continue. So your PR is not tied to it's not predicated to the success of your business. So you're not tied to the business once you receive your PR. And so that's a big differentiator. And it also allows working visas, student visas to your spouses and to your children with up to 5 founders. And so a lot more powerful than most other startup visa programs. And most importantly, why Canada? It's the pulse of the global market. Very diverse geographic, demographic, a lot of political views are very similar across the West Coast to Seattle and San Francisco. And Canada, Vancouver in particular, is that gateway into Asian market as well. So there's a lot of different advantages there. And the quality of talent, not just locally, but international talent that's being brought in is second to none. And I think there's just some studies out there that Canada is ranking higher and higher every year because of the influx of talent that's coming in. And strong government support. There's a huge, serious amount of R&D programs, tax credits, and other things that international companies can access as Canadian companies. There's like over 65% of R&D costs can come back to IP that's developed in Canada. So very, very powerful programs, again, above and beyond what you can get in other countries. And the great quality of life, you can't look over that. Vancouver does have one of the top rankings in the world, the best city to live, best air quality, best water, best lifestyle. So I'm going to leave it there and open up for any questions, but my contact information is here as well if anyone wants to reach out to me afterwards. But that's kind of the gist of going global and using Vancouver as a proxy to get into the North American marketplace. Any questions? No? All right. Actually, one.
Yeah. So I was asking you already that any fees involved, how to start with this, any segmentation?
Yeah, so in terms of segmentation, Launch Academy itself, we try to focus on the emerging tech sectors, so cybersecurity, blockchain, AI, VR, AR. If you're doing stuff in fintech, ag tech, as long as you're doing something transformational, you're trying to make a difference and using technology to induce that, then we're open to working with you. If you're building a new social network for pet owners, it's not really interesting, it's not something that we can help with. But also if you're doing something in let's say your animal-based proteins, well, my network and my infrastructure does not have any experience in that, so we'll probably not work with you because I can't add value. So as a nonprofit, we're not here to make as much money as possible, we're just here to help as many entrepreneurs as possible. And so we
how
want to
does
make
this work? My question is, like you're doing this upscaling business from India to Canada.
Yeah.
So what are the benefits that we're going to get and you're going to get is like you're going to give that all support and visas and everything.
Yeah.
But what is the benefit of like we need to pay any money that they get?
So it is a port fee
Yeah.
program, and the fees are there to just cover our costs because we're putting in a lot of time and energy and consulting. But again, as a nonprofit, we try to keep that as low as possible. And then any profits that does generate, it goes right back in the community to do events like our CEO events or other events in the community. And so Launch Academy's got its reputation. We're ranked as one of the top in the world because our focus and interest on giving back to the community. As I mentioned in Launch Ventures, I have all these different other arms. Launch Academy is my nonprofit. It's there with a specific purpose to help as many entrepreneurs as possible. And then when you ask like what is the benefit for Launch Academy, the more successful entrepreneurs, the stronger the community around Launch Academy, the better it is for everybody. And so we're just trying to bring the best of the best into Canada and help build up the Vancouver ecosystem as much as possible.
What's the process or how to begin with?
Yeah, so you go to launchacademy.ca. There's a subsection called Maple at launchacademy.ca. You go there, tab on Learn More, fill out an application, and you just start filling out the forms, and it's all free to apply. There's no fees to apply. But what we do then is just start filtering. Like, you know, just imagine we get thousands of applicants, and a lot of them are fake, and people that are just after PR. We filter those out, and then we filter out the ones that we feel we can't help. Then we create a short list of the ones that we do feel are good candidates, and then that actually goes in front of a panel of judges. So I don't make the final decision. We have CEOs, and like the head of Facebook in town, the head of Microsoft in town, they're a part of our judging committee. They will look at companies and say, yes, this is a really interesting company, we'd love to work with them, we can help them, or we just want to see this company in Vancouver. Because we're not taking equity, we're not investing, it's never from the lens of an investor of, is this a venture-backed business? We don't care about that. What we care about is what's the company doing, what's the quality of the people and individuals involved, and what we want to see them in Vancouver and help them. So it's a very holistic, different approach to it. Yeah.
So when we extend this arm to Canada, right, is there a requirement for the government that we should hire people from Canada?
There is no requirement per se, but that's the expectation. Why are you coming to Canada? It's because you want to build and grow your business. And so in the course of the growth of your business, there is expectation that you do end up hiring locally. That's the wise thing from any business perspective. Just bringing in foreign talent on a non-stop basis does not build a successful business in any market. But in order to qualify the program, no, there is no requirements to hire Canadian.
So do we need to have a business in existential reality in India to?
So typically, so startup visa is broad. There's different designated entities across Canada that can support. In terms of Launch Academy, again, because we don't take the equity, our perception is that we want to work with companies that already have a product in market have already raised funding or already have revenue, so that they can actually afford the expansion and growth of their business. If it's a brand new idea, I as an investor, I as an entrepreneur, will never give you the advice of, yeah, go move to Canada and start your business over there, because you have no network, you have no validation that your idea is going to go anywhere. Why spend all this money and time and energy to go to Canada to build your business? It may be that you want the permanent residency, that's fine. There's other paths to do that. Don't do it through startup visa. If you do have a valid idea, you've got traction or you've got proof points in India that this will actually work in
Producing
Canada,
results.
come to us and we're happy to work with you through that. And once you do apply, if you get rejected, that doesn't mean you're done. You can always come back and apply again and again.
Scale up ourselves and
Yeah, exactly. So we want to work with entrepreneurs that are scaling up and growing their business. All right, I think that's it. And yeah, you got my contact information if anybody's interested. I'm also at the Canada booth for the rest of the day, and feel free to reach out.